As I played through the Frozen Throne campaigns, I struggled to figure out a good challenge that was both interesting and possible for the Blood Elf campaign. My main issue was in how overpowered hero units were compared to the other units you get in the campaign. This campaign is impossible if you don't use hero units, but if you do use heroes, it's quite easy. After failing with only swordsmen, and easily winning with only producing swordsmen, I went back to the drawing board and finally figured out something fun. This campaign is titled the Blood Elf campaign, but in a normal playthrough, that title is a misnomer. This is a human campaign, a Naga campaign, an Illidan campaign, and even a Draenei campaign, but there are very few moments where it's optimal to use Blood Elves. After thinking about this grave injustice inflicted upon the protagonists of our campaign, I decided that this disrespect could not be tolerated anymore. This is why today, we will be answering the following question. Did Kael'thas actually need anyone else in order to overthrow Magtheridon and become the Lord of Outland? Can you beat the Frozen Throne Blood Elf campaign with only Blood Elves? To begin the campaign, Lord Garithos orders Prince Kael'thas to repair some nearby observatories. Garithos was originally a captain in Arthas' army, but due to his famous jailing of Mal'Ganis, and the fact that pretty much every human in Lordaeron is dead now, he rose up in the ranks to become the new Grand Marshal of the human army. Unfortunately for everyone, he's still trying to win with only footmen, and considers Kael'thas to be an allied unit that he can backstab and throw away at will. We begin the first level with a peasant, 3 footmen, 2 spellbreakers, 2 priests, and Kael'thas himself. Unfortunately, we have to cheat here immediately. The peasant is not a blood elf, but since we don't have workers yet, we are going to have to use peasants this level. The footman, though, we can kill immediately. Those are pesky, grotesque humans which we do not need to associate with. Footmen suck anyway, so it's not a big loss. Eventually, I fix the first observatory, and Kael'thas finds some ships that were conveniently docked on the shore. At this point, you are supposed to set up a base next to a gold mine on the main island, but you don't actually need to do that. The enemy undead base doesn't actually come online until you build a town hall. Before I do this, I scour the map and clear off every single creep on it, using my priests and fountains of mana to keep my troops alive. After killing an ogre warchief, I activate a Rune of Rebirth, which gives me the ridiculously overpowered unit for myself. This ogre has 1,200 health and deals 96 to 114 chaos damage, which is significantly stronger than any other unit I can command. In fact, this unit is so strong that on my only training swordsman run, I used it to kill the enemy undead base before I built a great hall, because the last thing I wanted to do on that run was to train a swordsman. Unfortunately, the ogre warchief is not a blood elf, so I kill it in cold blood and move on. With the additional resources from killing creeps and collecting all the hidden caches, I'm able to easily build up a powerful base. I then train up an army of priests and spellbreakers, destroy the undead base, and fix the remaining observatories. Next up is a Dark Covenant. The observatories have discovered a powerful undead base launching an assault on our position. The level exists in 2 phases. In the first phase, the undead send massive assault waves to destroy my outlying bases. As soon as my buildings are destroyed, a cutscene plays which summons 2 undead bases to surround me, while I receive Naga reinforcements I can use to take back a base of my own. At least, that's how the mission normally goes. However, a couple months ago, a user on Grant's Discord named Silversleek was playing around with this mission and discovered some hilarious cheats. I'll now detail it out to you step by step. Step 1. Select a worker. Step 2. Attack one of your buildings. Step 3. Make sure to repair that building with another worker. Step 4. There is no Step 4. That's it. If your building is under attack, Phase 2 never activates. We can play this entire mission in Phase 1. I've been told that without the cutscene, the orange and purple undead bases never actually build up, but I don't want to risk even that. I hide some units on the north side to snipe off Orange's building acolyte, while sending a couple Dragonhawk riders to kill off Purple's acolyte. By the time their armies get back to their bases, they aren't building anything at all, and I'm eventually able to buy some boats and cross the river without any outside help. Without reaching Phase 2, the green undead base is stuck repeatedly sending weak air raids towards my castle. They never get any upgrades, and I'm able to easily deflect these attack waves with a wall of towers. Because they never research web, they have a severe lack of anti-air at their base, which I can exploit. With easy access to 4 gold mines, I'm able to build up an army of Dragonhawk riders and kill green, ending the mission. When Lord Garithos returns, he is horrified. While he's happy that the undead threat is gone, he is heartbroken over the brutal murders of 3 innocent footmen, and in response, throws every Blood Elf unit in jail. This jail cell proves to be less durable than Mal'Ganis' jail cell, as Kale wastes no time escaping. A side quest in this level is to kill the ghosts of 4 archmages. Unfortunately, unlocking the door to one of them involves crossing a river, which the Blood Elves are incapable of doing. To compensate, I crafted a plan. While killing the 3rd archmage, I waited for him to summon a water elemental, then use control magic on it. After that, I rushed the water elemental to the button at across the water, only to learn that water elementals can't swim. 0 out of 10, completely unplayable game. Fix the game, Blizzard. I only collect 3 of the gem fragments, but otherwise, I easily beat the level. Next up, we have the search for a master key. This is a weird level where you only gain control of your heroes, while your ally is constantly sending units to reinforce you. Kale finds some fish creatures fighting the Night Elves over a key that's capable of opening and closing any type of door at will. In this level, you and Maiev both have bases that will constantly produce reinforcements, and whenever a hero unit gets close to the key, that player gains control of it. When a player gains control of the key, it starts to move towards their base, while their opponent starts to get significantly more reinforcements to try and take it back. The level wants to force you to engage in a back and forth against the elves, where each side gains control of the key and holds it for as long as possible before they're forced to give it up. However, that's not actually the easiest way to play the mission. By refusing to grab the cage until the last possible moment, my forces form an unstoppable death ball that can push deep into the Night Elf base. Reinforcements do eventually clean up my army, but not before I snipe a ton of production, including every single Ancient of Lore in the Night Elf base. Without any mountain giants or druids of the claw, their army doesn't have the force necessary to push through mine anymore, even when I control the key. So, I just easily fight off the elves to a standstill until the key reaches my base. As soon as the Night Elves retreat, Kale orders his Blood Elves to slaughter the fish creatures and steal the Master Key for himself. Next up, we have Gates of the Abyss. In it, I begin with a small base that's under siege from demons. Kale, not realizing that bringing the Master Key too close to the Demon Gate will shut it down, has made a tactical blunder. The game expects me to defend this key for 4 minutes from the first demon horde, which is a difficult task with half the starting units that I would normally get. My first attempt, the key is destroyed 11 seconds before the gate would have shut down. My second attempt, I use a sorceress to turn the key invisible, allowing it to survive, but sacrificed my entire army and most of my base in the process. I'm so economically depleted that the enemy orcs kill me before I can recover. Faced with this dilemma, I turn to a tried and true technique, backstabbing my allies. As soon as the level begins, I have all of my forces destroy the key, and as soon as it dies, the demons turn around and run right back through the demon gate. With my entire starting army still alive, I'm easily able to build up and defend my base against Chaos Orc attack waves. I'm now free to build up an army, and this is where I realized something really cool. The Blood Elves are actually good. I've never actually played as them before, because the Naga are ridiculously overpowered, but the Blood Elves really surprised me. The Swordsman is completely useless, don't get me wrong, but every other unit on the roster has a purpose. Spellbreakers serve as an excellent front line, and their immunity to magic is amazing when combined with Flamestrike. Priests and Sorceresses are excellent spellcasters. Dragonhawk Riders can completely shut down enemy towers, while Flamestrike destroys those towers. Finally, Archers are a pretty good damage dealer and anti-air option. The Blood Elves may not be as overpowered as the Naga in raw stats, but they have answers for everything with some of the best spellcasters in the game. I never felt like I was missing anything essential when using them. The footage for this section got corrupted, so I can't share it with you, but I was able to destroy the first 2 Chaos Orc bases without much trouble. The purple base, however, was much more challenging. Whenever I tried to attack it, the dragons would slaughter my army and the allied Draenei support felt useless. The base would rebuild 6 production structures too, so sniping buildings wasn't a viable option. The good news is that I didn't need to destroy the base to actually beat the level. The first time I played this level, I just left it up, built a bunch of guard towers by each demon gate, rebuilt the Master Key, and closed them all. After finishing the run though, I realized I wasn't satisfied with this result. The Blood Elves didn't earn their name by only killing a few orcs after all, they need to be satisfied with genocide. So, I went back to the level and came up with a plan. My issue is that my army is too small. I need a bigger army to bust this base in one go. Perhaps there will be a day when I treat my allies with respect in these games, but today is not that day. I built a wall of barracks outside of the Draenei base, then just waited as they sent multiple attack waves in a row at the Chaos Orcs. The attack waves stacked up with one another at the top of the Draenei base, and... I'm sorry, what is this? Why did this guy get to the orcs? Their hero can slip through the wall? Are you serious? Okay, new plan. Wait for their army to build up, then wait for them to revive their hero. As soon as their hero starts moving forward, destroy the wall and have their... Oh hey look, my base is under attack. I'd better move all my Dragonhawk riders away from the wall and... oh. Okay. Well, I messed up, but maybe I can salvage this. Move the riders back, destroy the barracks to open the wall, then get into position. For a second, the Draenei don't move their army, and I think it's all for nothing. But at long last, they start moving forward. Their hero dies well before the rest of our armies get there, but eventually, the rest of my reinforcements arrive, and I begin the attack. My army is primarily made of archers, with the assumption that the Draenei can tank for me while I kill off dragons. Dragons do absurd damage, and I've found that pushing into the base without first killing the dragons is a good way to get my entire army killed very quickly. I also have built up 6 barracks, which constantly produces archer reinforcements to keep up the momentum. I lose a ton in the initial assault, but between my archers and Draenei reinforcements, I'm able to keep up the pressure for just long enough to kill all the dragons and push their base. My army overwhelms them, and at long last, purple is dead. At this point, I rebuild the key and close all the demon gates. I could easily take purple's gold mine and build up a bunch of guard towers like I did in my previous attempt, but it's getting late at night and I'm feeling lazy, so I rush it. My army dies in the last demon gate, but a sorceress is able to turn the key invisible, which prevents the demons from finding it. This is twice now that the unstoppable demonic army has been foiled by invisible elves, which in my opinion is a massive oversight on the part of the Burning Legion. They really need to get some protection. There's one level left in this campaign, and when played normally, it's quite frankly an insult to the noble Blood Elves, the supposed protagonists of this campaign. Even the opening cutscene is insulting to Prince Kael'thas, as it shows him sending dozens of spellbreakers to their deaths, as they are unable to bypass magical defenses. To bypass these defenses, the cutscene shows the elves needing the help of the invisible Draenei, who have a special skill that's so mundane, even the humans have been doing this from day one. No, the opening cutscene is slander and must be revised. Prince Kael'thas leads the surviving Blood Elves to Magtheridon's lair, using an army of spellbreakers, priests, archers, and sorceresses. His goal? Kill Magtheridon or die trying. This mission is a very unusual one. Instead of having a base, I have just 1 barracks and 1 arcane sanctum that I can use to produce my units from. With no gold mines or workers, my only source of income consists of gold coins found throughout the map, which Kael has to collect himself. Combined, these 2 factors means I'm stuck with limited resources, which is a challenge because the orcs are sending attack waves that will continuously chip away at me until I deal with them. My first challenge is to figure out how to beat the Butcher, an abomination that has an absurd amount of health and deals a ton of damage. My army is capable of killing him, but in doing so, I lose so much that I can't kill the first orc base. Thankfully, I don't need to actually fight him. By going in with just Kael, I can banish him repeatedly, rendering him useless while I steal all the gold and tomes he's guarding. With some good micro, I'm able to gather up all the resources south of the first orc base and have a sizable army to attack it with. The base has magical defenses which will shred my forces if I try to advance through them. These defenses are powered by a magic crystal behind the orc base, and the game, seemingly forgetting about the Blood Elves, offers a solution. You normally gain Draenei reinforcements that can walk through the orc base without getting seen, destroy the crystal, then return to your army. The Draenei may have held me last level, but this is blasphemy, and I kill the Draenei for even suggesting that the elves can't accomplish this task on their own. In actuality, the process is trivial for the Blood Elves. Here's the strategy. Step 1. Turn Kael and another sorceress invisible. Step 2. Sneak the 2 units to the crystal and have Kael destroy it. Step 3. Use the second sorceress to turn Kael invisible again, then sneak him back to your army. Step 4. When attacking the orc base, make sure to have your stuck sorceress still hotkeyed to an army, so that it dies horribly the next time you move this army. I'm not sure if this last step is necessary, but I did do it every time I tried this, so I'm including it in there to be safe. With the defenses crippled, I then move in to destroy the orc base. The orcs put up a fight, but I managed to live with a decent army remaining. Unfortunately, destroying this base doesn't seem to lighten the pressure on me, because Dark Green starts sending in terrifyingly strong attack waves that easily cut down my remaining forces. I just don't have enough resources to survive, and I'm overwhelmed several times. Playing this level straight up isn't going to work. I'm going to need to pull out some cheese here, but to do that, I need to understand how the level works. Figuring that the dark green base is activated by a specific trigger, I cheat and start killing off light green's buildings one by one before retreating. It doesn't take me long to figure out what I need to do. I can kill off light green's barracks, bestiary, and even Great Hall with nothing happening, but as soon as I kill off their altar, dark green starts training units. If I keep light green's altar alive, dark green will never send attack waves. When I put this plan into practice, I discover another welcome surprise. I'm expecting green to revive their Blade Master indefinitely until I destroy the altar, but after I destroy their Great Hall, they just don't. Light green is completely neutralized while dark green never started attacking. Taking advantage, Kale is able to slowly kill off all the demons and collect all the money below dark green. I can then use invisibility to destroy dark green's defenses, then use my overwhelming army to rush in and destroy the base. I keep up the momentum, kill the rest of the demons on the left side, and grab the first key to Magtheridon's lair. Sadly, I can't advance further with just Blood Elves. The second key is across the river, and to create a bridge, I need to hit a button on the other side of said river. Thankfully, the master key we stole from the fish people comes in handy again. With no other option, I use the key to open a bridge to the other side of the river, then retreat the key back to my base without attacking anything. Lowering the bridge leaves me vulnerable to another orc base, one that is immediately online and sending attack waves towards me. I need to move fast to destroy it, but thankfully I have a pretty big army and am able to advance quickly to the front of the base through demons. Kale is able to destroy the crystal, then my army crushes the base before it has a chance to send too many attacks. There is one more orc base on the map, but it's completely isolated from the rest. I could open it up by destroying some trees, but I decided it's way too risky. If I could destroy it without losing much, the extra gold pickups could theoretically make it worthwhile, but the base is scary and I'd probably lose more than I'd gain if I tried. Without any attack waves incoming, I now have as much time as I want. Imbued with every tome I could find across this campaign, Kale is a one-man army, capable of destroying small groups of demons without any army support. With all the gold coins on the map, I'm able to build a maxed out army, then kill the Mistress of Pain, getting the second key. By killing the Mistress, Kale is able to get the best item in the game, the Mask of Death. This item gives Kale a life-stealing attack, which drastically increases his survivability and helps him pull apart the Inner Sanctum's defenses. Kale lures out small groups of units at a time, drawing them into my army, crushing Magtheridon's defenders with minimal casualties. Magtheridon has 2 dangerous level 10 Blade Masters which threaten to do a ton of damage, but using this method and a Staff of Silence, I'm able to take them out. At long last, only Magtheridon and a couple other defenders remain. I try to lure the defenders away, but Magtheridon comes with them, and it's go time. My army is able to take out Magtheridon's defenders easily, but Magtheridon himself is a different story. He is absurdly bulky, deals insane damage, and has a wide array of incredibly dangerous spells to throw at me. Kale is my only unit that can even really chip him down. I'm out of money, and I'm running out of soldiers fast. I try my best to kite him, having units he's targeting run away while my other units slowly chip him down. With Flame Strike and Mana Drain, I'm able to slowly drain his health and keep his mana down, but it only works for so long. Magtheridon gains enough money to summon an Infernal, and I think it's over, but then a miracle happens. The Infernal, which should have killed me, spawns on the low ground, and is trapped by the terrain of the map. It can't touch me. Taking advantage, I continue pressing, trying to deal as much damage as I can before he kills me. My troops die one by one, and soon, only Kale is left. Magtheridon would win this duel at full health, but he's super low, while Kale is still healthy and healing with his mask. With nothing left to do, they exchange furious blow after blow, and in the end, the Blood Elf Prince prevails. As the last surviving Blood Elf, Kale takes his mantle as the new Lord of Outland. So, can you beat the Blood Elf campaign with only Blood Elves? Well, kind of. You need to use peasants in level 1, Illidan is required for the main objective in level 5, and Illidan is once again needed to lower a bridge on the final level. Outside of these 3 exceptions though, it is absolutely doable. In fact, I'd go so far to say that the Blood Elf only Blood Elves was a more fun campaign than the original campaign. The Blood Elves are so much fun to use. No individual unit in their roster is overpowered, but combined, they feel like a well-oiled machine that is so much better than the sum of its parts. This is going to be controversial, but I think the Blood Elves are better designed than the Naga, who just coast by on their absurd stats. Next up is, Only commanding ghouls frozen throne? Oh no. What did I just get myself into? I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.